Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan Garrison here today. I am joined by someone who I first started following on podcasts with Steve Trang and RJ Bates and all those guys, and I'm somehow I ended up connecting with him on the broker world, and now I'm connected with this man in a group that he created. As a co-creator, I believe, called the Real Family Tree. His name is Matthew Potter, and I think that today is going to be able to bring a lot of value to my groups, but also to prospective agents that might be looking for a change or maybe looking to get your license for the first time. Matt, why don't you take a second, introduce yourself, kind of give everyone kind of a brief rundown of who you are and kind of what you do.
Well, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Yes, we connected through our good friend Pardon the Destruction. It's a great one. For those that don't watch it, should watch it because it is great. I am just your run of the mill short sale guy that's done a couple short sales, realtor, investor side, traditional side, all of those wonderful things. I started out, honestly by accident in real estate back in 2007, and the market completely shifted, and instead of being able to do land development, I ended up learning how to do a short sale, and then I got really good at it, and then I got really good at it and started helping a lot of other agents and homeowners and things like that, and we've kept that going for years and years and years. And we now at this point, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we just went over 19,000 that we've completed nationwide since '07. So I'm pretty proud of that. Now it's a race to 20.
Mm-hmm.
Want to get there as soon as possible, and then in the meantime, through the process, giving people education, the opportunity to add it as a tool and a resource into their tool belt when they're out there with working with a seller that may be in a tough situation. Having this knowledge is paramount, especially for me right now in the current market, particularly the market here in Phoenix, but we're also seeing it in many other markets. It's really helpful to have this because going in there of, hey, by the way, I can only offer you these three options versus, hey, here's a fourth option that encompasses everything prior to a foreclosure sale. Would you be willing to try it? It's not going to cost you anything. And ultimately, if we're not successful, you're in the same boat that you're in right now. Generally, most sellers are going to say, what do I have to lose? So, that's 1,000 foot overview of kind of what I do. There's a lot of other stuff like you had touched on. We have our network at our brokerage, the Family Tree. I'm a co-founder of that with Ryan Zolan, my wife and his girlfriend. And ultimately, our goal with that was bring together, meld the investor and agency world, bring them together so that we can serve more people. And it's super cool because when you have like-minded people that are really working towards solutions, uh, along with helping buyers and sellers resolve their problems, man, magic happens and deals get done. Everybody eats and everybody wins. So that's 1,000 foot overview right there.
Awesome. Well, we're going to have some prospective agents and also, agents over at other firms and that kind of thing watching this. And I guess, and at least in our market, it hasn't really started to happen yet. I know, some of the stuff in Phoenix. Phoenix seemed like it was like gasoline on a flame with the market. And then it seemed like Phoenix and Vegas, maybe a couple other markets, they go up faster than some other ones and they come down a little bit faster than other ones too. And so you're seeing it more. My personal belief is it's going to be expanding in other markets in the country, and right now is the time to learn more about short sales, about pre-foreclosures, about that kind of stuff. But maybe if for the agents that aren't as familiar with it, that haven't gone through, and I don't know if you really get a whole lot out of the NAR short sale foreclosure course or anything in there. You get a little icon you can use if you pay the $400 or whatever, right?
Of course,
Um,
you can have the alphabet behind it, behind your name.
right.
Absolutely.
On LinkedIn, it feels special. Um, can you maybe, obviously I know this is a lot more content than we're going to have time for, but let's walk let's walk an agent maybe through the process, how, and then also maybe a little bit of ideas of different ways they can monetize in this too. And if that involves bringing in your company or someone like you, or trying to do stuff on their own, what they have to, kind of how it goes, what they have to do.
Yep. So a short sale, the way that a short sale works is ultimately it eliminates the two things that most sellers are going to probably not necessarily argue, but it's the pain point when they're looking at selling their home. It's price and it's commission. The bank's going to pay the commission. Price is going to be determined by the bank. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you've eliminated that factor. So with regards to short sales and how to monetize them and how to add them into your tool belt, is we offer a processing service nationwide where we would partner, for example, with you, Ryan, on a listing in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
You would ultimately be boots on the ground. You would do the listing docs. You would do the short sale package. You'd send all that over to us. We would handle everything with the respective lien holders that are on the bank, on the property. And then ultimately from there, we would obtain the approvals that are necessary to close. Ironically enough, we literally have one that's in Washington State that was sent by a broker that we know. He sent it over. He's like, dude, I don't know. Like I found it. I don't know what to do with it. You're the guy. And I was like, we got you. Not a problem. We've been working on that one for about 5 weeks. It's in the process of being approved right now. Like it's literally to the point of approval. So on the agency side, it's a great way to ultimately be an agent if you really want to get down to it. Like you are providing a service to the seller. The bank is the one that's ultimately paying the commission on it as well. And it is, it's providing you that opportunity to assist that seller and in an agency capacity. Now, looking at it from an investment strategy, there is the opportunity with some of them to take them down, maybe at a discount from what, the current market value is. Everybody always asks me, what price will a bank take? Everybody wants to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the $1,000,000 question. And the answer to that is always, it depends.
Depends. Yeah.
It is property specific. It is situation specific.
Mm-hmm.
It is because on the back end of that mortgage, there is there's an investor that owns that paper. They're the ones that are going to make the determination of what they're willing to sell the property for. So from an investment strategy, you do have the ability to go in, like, again, we'll just use another example. Say that you found a property you wanted to purchase for maybe a fix and flip. Let's just say it met your criteria there. With regards to that property, you would not be the listing agent on it. You would have somebody else list it because the bank's not going to pay you as the buyer a commission to buy the property at a discount. They're just not going to. I've had people that will argue with me until they're blue in the face on that. And I'm like, look, the answer is no. I'm just letting you know that is the answer. There's no way around this. And they're like, well,
what if I do it through an LLC, and then if I get
the whole
right.
thing. And I'm like, look, that's great. You still have to send articles of incorporation that show who the members are of the LLC. So unless you're not a member of the LLC, it's a moot point, like it is. So it's one of those, like, just partner up with an agent, have them list it. You go ahead and be the buyer and submit your offer. From there, depending on what they end up approving on it, and they may come back and they may say, hey, look, we need X amount. You say, nah, that doesn't work. Okay, fine. You exit stage left. It gets retailed out. It sells. It's not the end of the world. They may come back and say, yeah, hey, your offer's in line. We'll go ahead and approve it. Which, if that's the case, congratulations. You got yourself a new investment to work with. You got a fix and flip, a buy and hold, a burr. I mean, I don't know a lot of people that are doing burrs right now with where rates are,
Yeah,
but there's, back in the day, that was a method, when rates were fives, not really an issue there. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can do that. One of the things that I always try to, I like everybody to just know up front, You are not going to assign a short sale. It's not going to happen. The bank isn't going to allow you to just assign it over to
Right.
somebody else. I have had people argue with me about that one as well. And I'm like, look, at the end of the day, the bank specifically states on their approval that there's going to be no assignment.
Quick question on that. So, I mean, does I still understand that the LLC sale method might work, or is they're going to nix that too?
In theory, it does.
Okay.
This is the thing. In theory, a lot of things work. In theory,
Right.
communism works if we really want to get down to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it may be something you want to participate in, though. So, what I usually tell people with the LLC model or something like that, if the numbers are good enough and there's no deed restrictions that are presented, just get a transactional lender and do a double escrow. Like that's going to be your safest, easiest way. You've adhered to the terms of the approval. The buyer is able to legally buy the property from you, not an issue. Because when you start making changes to the LLC, and like this is the reality, the bank has a lot more money than you will. I promise you, Wells Fargo has more
Yeah.
money than you do. Chase does, any of them do. And if they sense in any way whatsoever that there has been something that's outside of the norm of what they're allowing, they're ultimately going to come at you with the hammer of God. And you don't want that. Like you don't. You want to be able to just buy properties
Hmm.
and be in a position of, you want to be able to buy properties. Hold on. I got to get up real quick. My blood pressure's up. Is there a way to like cut this right quick?
Yeah.
Give me
Hang on
one
one
second.
sec. I'll pause it.
All right.
All right. So, real quick with that, Matt. I mean, I know that agents are always going to randomly come across onesie, twosies, whatever, like that says, "Oh, I found this buyer, or they found me, or seller, and they found me, and they owe too much in their house, or their house is a dump, and now it's not gonna sell." That's going to happen no matter what. But how can we be more aggressive? Do you recommend going maybe to asset managers directly? What kind of methods can we do to maybe increase our opportunities to find more short sales and maybe pre-foreclosures, that kind of thing?
Gotcha. So going to an asset manager, that one's going to be difficult because most of the time the banks are just, hey, we can't assign these out to anybody. We can't give that information out.
Hmm.
The best way that I found is go through your lists. Investors use lists a lot.
Hmm.
So do agents. Your pre foreclosures, your little to no equities, your absentee, your honestly, depending on the state, a lot of success with people who have passed away with reverse mortgages because those
Mm.
can be shorted. So
Okay.
those are some of the best ways to go and target properties that ultimately may be short sale opportunities.
Okay. So other groups, so I'm in another group that they do, short sale pre-foreclosure stuff, and then, offer services and have third parties and stuff. With that,